My name is Catherine Hobbs, and this is the story of how gun violence changed my life. On October the 8th, 1984, my mother, Sarah Crocker Hobbs, was murdered in our home in Suffolk, Virginia. She was only 54. Her life was taken by the half-brother of my high school boyfriend, who was diagnosed as paranoid schizophrenic. He had written a hit list containing names of several members of our community whom he blamed for his failures in life. We believe that he had spoken to his psychiatrist of his homicidal plans, and his mother later stated that she was surprised that he had not killed her. His mother was so concerned that she tried to have him involuntarily committed, but was unable to do so. Shortly after, he killed my mother. He stated in his confession that he would have shot anyone in our house. He also stated that he had gone to New York City to buy a handgun to carry out his plan. This story sounds tragically familiar to those who have lost family members and friends to gun violence. The presence of guns in this country, from .22 caliber handguns to high-capacity assault rifles, will always be a divisive, unwieldy issue. The NRA, with approximately 3 million members, stands firmly behind a narrow interpretation of the Second Amendment, and it lobbies successfully by supporting lawmakers who vote according to its agenda. On the other side are those of us who advocate various solutions, from an outright ban on all guns to a universal background check on people who seek to purchase firearms. No one solution will prevent more names from being added to the roll call of Americans who continue to be hurt or killed by those with guns. But we can honor those victims known to the public, the Sandy Hook teachers and first graders, the moviegoers in Aurora, Colorado, the 32 students and professors at Virginia Tech, students and teachers at Columbine High School, for example, as well as those victims known only to family and friends, by demanding that all gun purchasers pass a background check. Statistics are staggering. Every day, 32 Americans are killed by gunfire. Every day, 140 people are treated in emergency rooms for assaults involving guns. Every day, 51 people commit suicide with guns, and every day, 45 people are shot and killed in accidents involving guns. According to Mayors Against Illegal Guns, 6 months after Newtown, 8,590 murders have been committed. The problem with universal background checks is that they are not universal. The names currently on the list include convicted felons, persons convicted of certain misdemeanors, and those with a mental illness that indicate the possibility of violence. However, all states must keep the list updated by routinely reporting these names to the FBI. By a law recently passed in New York State, all mental health workers are required to report the names of patients who talk about harming themselves or others. This law should be passed in all states. While business owners federally licensed to sell guns must call for a background check before each transaction, unlicensed sellers, merchants at gun shows, and online retailers are exempt. Unbelievably, 40% of guns in America are sold this way. Common sense dictates that anyone who sells a gun must check all prospective purchasers, and those sellers that do not should face prosecution. The fact is that 92% of gun buyers are cleared for purchase while the FBI is on the phone, according to the Brady campaign. Of the 107 million buyers since the Brady law passed in 1993, 2 million people have been blocked. However, nothing prevents those who cannot purchase a handgun legally from making straw purchases, buying guns online, or purchasing a gun at a gun show. These are the loopholes in universal background checks. On August 29th of this year, President Obama signed an executive order requiring individuals associated with trusts or corporations to go through the background check process. That is a step in the right direction. Our school children returned to their classes after Labor Day, and our members of Congress returned to Washington this week. Let's give our elected officials some homework. Close loopholes in the universal background check process. Be courageous. Do not be daunted by the gun lobby. Vote to save lives. Those of us who can never forget the death of a loved one will never stop trying to prevent the pain that others will experience because of senseless handgun violence. We are the 80 to 90% of Americans who favor this legislation, and we vote. Will universal background checks stop all gun violence? No. But they can save some of us, and saving even one life should be worth 5 minutes on the phone. I wish my mother were here to live out the fullness of her life. Today would have been her 63rd wedding anniversary. I wish the same for every person whose life has been snuffed out by gun violence. The dead cannot make a case for one common sense step toward curbing senseless loss of life, but we can speak for them, and we can march with other foot soldiers for peace, such as Americans for Responsible Solutions, formed by Gabby Giffords and her husband Mark Kelly, the Brady Campaign, the Coalition to Stop Gun Violence, and the Violence Policy Center. Every small step counts. Every life counts. March with us by contacting your senators and representatives and demanding that they close loopholes in the universal background check process.